Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got in a brand new rod. Now this is a spinning rod, and it is going to be used for our hair jig. Now the rod I was using before I get into this one, the rod I was using before was one by Savage Gear. It was a It's a 610. I can never remember if it was 610 or 6.9. 610 medium light fast action rod, and it's a Savage Gear Squad. This rod's been pretty good actually. It's not very expensive. I think it was only like 80 bucks, 80, 90 bucks when I got it. I think I got it on sale for like 75, 80 bucks. And it's it's a pretty decent rod. I didn't have any complaints about it. I use this for a hair jig rod. This would be a really good drop shot rod too, by the way, if you guys are looking. But it doesn't have the drop shot keeper though. That's okay though. That's not a deal breaker. But I just think the rod looks pretty good. A lot of people, they don't like the camel grips. Honestly, I don't mind. I kind of like them a little bit, So these rods, this rod was pretty good for me. It threw the hair jig just fine, and that's actually the original intention for it, was the hair jig. But the only problem is it's a 610. So the reason why that's a problem is because it's a little short for a hair jig. Why? Because with a hair jig, you want to be able to launch that sucker way out there, because you got a light line, you got a light jig. Some guys are throwing, 16th ounce hair jigs. I'm throwing 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce sometimes. I add a little bit of something to them to kind of help them slow the fall rate and make them feel a little bit more meatier when the fish bite them. But we'll get into that in just a minute. What I want to, describe to you guys is that this rod was pretty good, but it can't get that far out in a cast. The action was great. Actually, there's a couple of videos where I caught a couple of good sized smallmouth on this rod. It handled them just fine. It's just a little too short, and that's okay. But that's okay. It's still a good rod, and I am still going to keep it, for a backup. Savage Gear. That's my first Savage Gear Squad spinning rod. First Savage Gear spinning rod altogether, to be honest with you. But that rod actually handled very well. I've got no complaints about it. So if you guys are looking for a low-cost rod that will work well for me, there you go. Look up the Savage Gear Squad rod and the spinning. They also make the casting series too, which still just as cheap, if you want to call it cheap, but it feels really good quality. It's super light too. Really, it's really light. But today we got a new rod. Now this is a rod manufacturer that I never thought I would purchase from, and there's no hate behind it either. There's really no hate. I just never really needed to. I've always I build my own Quantums, or it's some kind of a Bass Pro Shop brand or something like that. So I did this because I wanted for a hair jig rod, right? But I wanted a longer rod. Now, very specific, I wanted a 7'6". If I'm no expert hair jig rod, I'm a hair jig fisherman. So this is what's worked for me. This is what is, my preferences. So what I hear a lot is guys going for a 710 or almost an 8-foot rod for a hair jig rod. That's too long for me. I don't want to throw a rod that's that long. I'm actually going to have a hard time putting it in one of my boxes anyway. So I am comfortable with a 7'6", and I can still launch it way out there too. So for me, a 7'6" is perfect. I don't need a 710. Even though you ask any really good hair jig fisherman, they're gonna want to tell you a 710. And there's a couple of guys that make custom rods, so it's very specific, because you want it. So this is a 7.6 medium light fast action rod. Now there's some guys that go moderate, but I want fast. The reason why is just because I want that backbone. I want the backbone in my rods. And I don't have any issues fighting the fish because I don't have any issues keeping the line tight. But if you do find yourselves losing fish because of the fast action, where it's got too much backbone and not enough parabolic bend, then go to a moderate action rod. That'll give you more of a parabolic bend and it'll help you fight those fish. But I don't have that problem, so I want to, and I want more of a backbone to give more bite in that hook set, which really isn't going to be, you know, much of a hook set, right? You got a light jig, light wire hook, and light line. You don't need that much of a hook set. So you're not setting it like King Kong. The biggest thing about this is definitely the length. Now, this this manufacturer is 13 Fishing. This is their Fate Black series, and you know, honestly, I really like the look of this rod. Now, I haven't casted it yet, but the rod, duck a little bit, a little ceiling here. There we go. I'm hitting the wall too. So with this one here, see if you guys can read this here. There you go. I probably can't read that. Sorry about that. That was pointless. Anyways, oh god. Anyways, I love the look of this rod. They got carbon fiber look here, you know, and they got some like a shiny carbon fiber look. Looks like they got some epoxy covering that. Great. Some dull like carbon fiber here and some shiny carbon fiber here, and they actually have a drop shot keeper here too, so you can slide your drop shot on there. So that I do like, because you know this might I don't, a 7.6 is a little bit too heavy for me for a drop shot, or not heavy, long for a drop shot, so that might not get used for a drop shot. Definitely this is very specific. The hair jig's gonna stay on here, and this is what I'm going to throw it with. Other than maybe a Spybait. Spybait would be another good pairing with this rod, because it's a very light bait, and you need a long rod to get fling that thing way out there, and you got light line. Light line. What do I have on here? You know, I don't even really know. I kind of know. I kind of don't. I've been trying to test out a couple different lines. This, I'm pretty sure this is a Suffix, I don't know, 10 pound, I'm pretty sure it's a Suffix 10 pound braided line to a, I know it's a Suffix advanced fluorocarbon 8 pound fluorocarbon leader, about, I don't know, 10, 12 feet long. So I know that's what it is, because I just tied that today. I noticed my other leader was messed up, so I just tied that. With an FG knot, which, where'd it go? I don't see it. Oh, well, whatever. An FG knot, which I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on that FG knot. It's not your normal FG knot. It's very kind of, it's different. I used a couple of different methods from a couple of different other, pro anglers, guys who know what they're doing. I added a couple of other methods and I combined them into the same knot, and it's been working out pretty good. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when I was first tying that FG knot, I was losing fish left and right. The knot wasn't even holding. It just wasn't even holding. I could pull it right out. So, and I followed the directions, the instructions, you know, to the T. Wasn't working for me. Okay, fine. So I went on YouTube and I started looking up. I found, you know, Seth Fighter had a really good way. Jacob Wheeler had a really good way. I thought, well, wait a minute. I like both of those ways. I don't, you know, and I think they both got really good advantages. So I combined them into one knot. So maybe I'll do a video on it later on. But I don't know. I don't know. The reason why I'm on the fence about it is because there's a lot of good videos out there on how to tie an FG knot. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, back to the rod. So this is gonna get me a lot further out there, and I haven't thrown this rod before, so I can't speculate on how it's gonna handle or how it's gonna work, but we are gonna find out. That is a given. We are gonna find out. But first, you know, at first look, it's a light rod. Okay, it's a really light rod. I love the look. I like the black stealth look to these rods, and you know, it seems like it's got the action that I need. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I think this is gonna be pretty good. The other thing is what I'm gonna be throwing. You know, about the jigs, a lot of guys throw 16th ounce jigs. Well, yeah. Why? Because it's a slower rate of fall. You know, they don't fast. Sometimes I like to throw heavier jigs so I can get it out even further. And what I like to do to my heavier jigs is, you won't be able to see it very well, maybe a little bit. I add a piece of black, or whatever color you got, you know, for your hair, brown, green pumpkin, or whatever you want. I add a piece of a stick bait, just a little bit on the hook there, so when the fish bite it, it's not just hair and metal, you know, the hook. They get something soft, so it feels like they're actually biting into, like, maybe a fish, a leech, whatever it is that they think it is. I don't know if that's a big factor of why some of these fish are holding on the way they do, but it's been working for me, so I'm going to keep doing it. The reel, it's I don't know if I had talked about the spinning reel on the other one that I did. This is just a old Quantum Smoke PT spinning reel. Nothing real crazy. I'm trying to find where it says this is a 30 size reel. I do like a little bit of the bigger reel, so I can put more line on, and it's a bigger spool, so each revolution brings in more line at once, so I can reel it in a little bit faster. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a 6301 or something like that. I can't see it, but yeah, so I don't know. This reel has been really good. I haven't had a problem speeding up the reel, trying to catch up the fish. Works great, and I love these reels. I mean, I've been using them for a while. I haven't had any problems with them, so no reason to change them. This one's been beat up a little bit. It's okay. Still works. Proper reel maintenance will keep your reels running for a lot longer. You can save money. Maybe I'm not going to get into reel maintenance. There's actually a couple of really good videos out there that and maybe if I find them later, I'll link them or whatever. But all you gotta do is look up fishing reel maintenance on YouTube. There's a lot of really good videos out there, so check it out. Keep your reels maintained. That's going to help you. It's going to save you, and it could save you from losing a fish. So that's it. I mean, that's the new rod, the new purchase we got today. And this rod, you know, it says the sticker price is $84.99. I actually got it for, like, I think it was like $69.99 or $70, something like that, from Shop Carl's. And the only reason why is because these rods are hard to find. This length, this action, whatever. I mean, they're very hard to find. You can find them, but not without spending like $300-400. Some of them, you know, maybe between $180 to $400, somewhere in there. It's a big range, but I haven't found this length of a rod very often. I know Ugly Stick makes one, but I've seen some pretty bad reviews on that stick, and it's more or less people maybe, I don't even know if they're legitimate reviews. I'd have to try it myself to make sure, but I saw this one and I love the look of it. The big difference between me with the Ugly Stick one and this one, the Ugly Stick has a full cork handle. I'm not a fan of cork. I don't like cork. When it gets beat up, it chips and it breaks off, and I just don't like it. To me, it's not comfortable, and I just don't like cork. I don't think it's to each their own. Okay, if you like cork, hey, go for it. You know, it's fine. Me, I like EVA mostly. I'd rather have the wind grips, the rubberized grip, but mostly I like EVA. It's more comfortable for me anyway. That is the reason why I chose this one. One of the reasons why I chose this one over the Ugly Stick. And of course the look of it. It's, you know, it's like a stealth black with carbon fiber. I mean, it looks like a pretty sick rod. So we're gonna give this a try and see how it works out. We're gonna launch this hair jig out there. We'll even throw out a couple of 16th ounce hair jigs. We'll try a couple spy baits. There's a really light topwater bait that I want to try too, which I'm not sure how that's going to work with fluorocarbon leader. We'll see. Might have to tie that on straight braid. We'll see what happens. But this is we're going to be using this this next year. We've got quite a few smallmouth lakes that we're going to, so you know, I'll keep you guys updated on how this one pans out and whether or not I recommend it or not any further. But that's going to do it, you know. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in and checking out the hair jig rod setup that I'm going to be working with, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.